Hi YouTube, it's your favorite megachurch cult survivor, Leah Lauder, queen of the megachurch cult. And not only am I live here with you beautiful YouTubers, I'm also live on TikTok. Yeah. So I'm going to be going over the topic because yesterday we had a twilight session. I was way too ill to come on YouTube and tired. So I promised that I would come on this morning and I would go through what we've been talking about. Please, if you haven't subscribed, why don't you become part of the community? There's big things that I've got planned for YouTube. I've been really slow on YouTube. I haven't given you guys the content that you deserve. And, I've got almost 1,000 subscribers on there and I don't do jack human feed call matter chair. So I'm very grateful. I'm going to be focusing on my kind of streaming era, and my podcast era is coming very, very soon, guys. It's in the works. Okay. So get ready. The book, the podcast, all of it, my streaming era, it's all coming. It's here. It's here. This is the moment now. Yeah. So I've been talking about DAVO, which is what ABUSEOs do up. Now, you don't have to be a church cult survivor. You could come from a family with high control group tendencies, so very strict parents that just take it to another level. You could have been in an ABUSE relationship and you're recovering. So DAVO, I think, is deny, attack, reverse, victim, offender. Is that what it is? And the whole ideology is that abusers will build a case against you, drag your name through the mud. They will deploy, flying monkeys to abuse you through third parties. And that happens a lot when you leave. Yeah. You're seen as in the Bible it speaks about the leprosy, was it the woman or the man that had the leprosy? Yeah. And it's like that thing where you get pathologized and you're treated like, oh no, don't touch that person. Queen Innes in the cup, don't go near them. You're going to get infected with the DEVIL. Yeah. Very abusive, very us versus them, very black and white thinking. And the thing is, these groups have got away with this behavior for centuries. Yeah. And we're finally in an age in 2026 where, information is at our fingertips. And, they're just not getting away with the lies anymore. Morning, Queen. I'm so tired, guys. Is anyone else shattered? But we persevere on. There's been quite a lot of survivors. Guys on TikTok, please like up the live. There's been quite a lot of survivors who are just getting out or have got the confidence. They've been out for a while. Thanks, Queen Innes. They've been out for a while and now they're getting the courage to speak out. You're such a queen. She's gifted me. You're such a queen. Thank you, baby. So I wanted to share a little bit about, how you navigate those waters outside. And I guarantee you survivors, like all of us, are going to have to utilize the mental health service unless you're going to spend the rest of your life being at MESS and masking and going around the same karmic cycles. I know a guy right now, I'm looking at his life and I'm just like, Ross Clark, that's what happens when you don't deconstruct and heal. That's what happens. Do you know what I mean? The beast arises like the full monster, do you know what I mean, version of that individual where they just show their ears. Yeah. And that's where you see it in all its glory, because you'll think you're getting on with life. Oh, I'm in a relationship, but you don't know that you're with a friggin' viper. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're both toxic for each other. You've met your blood clot match. How about that? Yeah. So people get stuck in these cycles. And because everything's external, when you come out, what a lot of survivors will do is be very successful, which is absolutely great. It's fantastic. But we can't measure success by the external things, because you could be a millionaire or earning 6 figures, but you still haven't dealt with the trauma. You're still at MESS. Do you understand what I'm saying? And it shows. It shows in your decisions. It shows in your behavior. Money can't buy wisdom. Yeah. And a lot of people think they're wise and they're just not. They're none of the sort. One of my favorite scriptures, trigger warning, is it pride cometh before a great fall? Pride cometh. And you know what? I could actually change it up and say the one whom thinketh he is wise or wiser than God. Yeah. Then comes the great fall. So what happens is when you don't deconstruct and deprogram, you still have the filth, the elitist mindset, thinking you're better than everybody else, very much being in the 3D. And now that we're seeing this shift, the new earth and the concept of us going into like a new era, a new age, it's not a physical transition. It's a spiritual transition. These things are happening in the unseen. I don't want to say to trigger, but just the unseen. Yeah. And that directly impacts and affects what happens in our reality. And that's why these mogs and these spaces, they're not thriving anymore, because there's more of an equilibrium. People are speaking out. And as people are speaking out, that's what it's like a okay, I got it. It raises the human level of consciousness. So that state of collective consciousness is now heightened and raised. So we're seeing a shift in their ability to be able to recruit, which is do outreach. There's a lot of like laws that are coming into place. And it's not only about the laws, because the laws could get changed, like to say that they can't do it, they're still going to do it, right? What it's about is it's really about like raising the collective consciousness, which is what I'm about. I'm about going into people's psyches and rewiring their brain to think straight. Yeah. Because when you come out of these cults, your psyche is all fractured. Yeah. Oh my God, there's a magpie on my fence. I'm gonna get a birdhouse. Do you know what? I love magpies. Magpies are my favorite birds. Sorry, guys, I got distracted. Oh, greetings, my love, and welcome everybody that's joining. I'm like getting captivated by nature. Oh, there's another one. Can you hear the message of the birds for us? And guys, I'm not gonna lie, yeah, there has been so many different things that have been happening. Like a lot of things that I didn't expect, a lot of things that I did expect and I did see coming. But what this season has allowed me to do, and it's been such a gift, it's been such a gift to me, is it's enabled me to like go within, get deeper in my spiritual practices, really look at like what's meaningful in life. Like when I'm not on and I'm saying all that, it's nothing impressive. It's me pouring into my girls. It's me watering my girls. And I was looking at myself in the mirror the other day. I didn't have anything. I was just looking at myself. I've put on a bit of weight and stuff. And I was like adoring myself in the mirror. And ladies and gentlemen, please do this. Adore yourself. Even if you're not happy with your body, you've got to stand there and you've got to tell yourself that you're beautiful. Like my bodies, I've had 2 kids. These are on the floor, but I don't care. Do you know what I mean? I'm a Renaissance painting, fearfully and wonderfully made in God's blood clot image. Are you all right? I'm a vision. I'm a masterpiece. You know, I'm saying people look at me and marvel. These are the kind of things that you need to say and the kind of things that you need to like have. Like even there'll be certain gals, I'll be like, oh my God, they're so beautiful. They might not even be on my level. I don't care if someone else doesn't think they're on my level. But when I see the gal them in that bracket, I'm like, yeah. When I do myself up and whatnot, yeah, I'm right there. And that's the mindset you've got to have. Like, you know, like you got to get to that point of Delulu, because when you was in the cult, you was doing up Delulu and it was working for the cult leader. You saw the increase in the numbers. What you were doing, even if you weren't like the top evangelist of the church cult, you were still doing your bit, man. Because you got to remember, this is a big machine. And they say this in the preaching, and it's true. Like each part of that functioning, it needs someone to do it. All the bits behind the scenes to get the machine working. Thanks, official posture. And you know, girl, that's us in the kitchen, sweeping the floors, serving the men of God, bowing down to these. Do you know what I mean? When they have these big events, who do you think serving the food? You see the members, the girls running around in their A-line skirts and their dolly shoes, looking like a bag of MESS, yeah? You see them serving. Then afterwards, who do you see cleaning up? The same gal them, the same set. And they're just on a mission, like, you know, like the pastors told us to do A, B, C, and D. Got to get it done. You see the women moving, But the thing is, you're not thinking like that. When they put on their events, who do you think's doing the decorations? Who do you think's in the hall doing the decorations until 4 a.m.? It's women. It's women. Men might be there to lend a helping hand if it means getting up the ladder, but it is very handmaid's tale. It is very the testaments in this cult. Like in these cults, I need everyone to understand. Like it is like that. Like you know your place. You speak when you're spoken to. When you get into a situation where you get closer to the pastors, that's when you can. It's not be yourself, because you're not really being yourself, but you get away with. You can kind of break the rules, but you're not breaking the rules because your loyalty is still to the highest authority. But it's like you get to be a bit more free within their parameters. Is what I'm saying making sense? So, for example, shopping could not be something that's encouraged, but then I get close to the lady pastor, and this is a true story, and now I'm going out to Lakeside, I'm going out to different shopping centers with her, buying stuff, doing it, and I'm getting told that this is the ministry. Are you getting what I'm saying? So it's a lot of mind games, man. It's a lot of mind games, a lot of mind games. There's a lot of like very subtle tactics that they do up and use in there. And I'll tell you something, yeah, the most EVIL men that I've ever dealt with in my life, they've come from the church. And I'm talking about these guys who claim that they were road man, them criminal. I've told you, lot, a real G will never be able to get brainwashed. That's on period point blank. That's on period point blank. The unalivers I know, the OGs, they're not doing up no church. Sorry. Even when they're like, oh, they had this reputation back in the day. No, baby, they needed to go to CAMS. You know, CAMS, Child Adolescent Mental Health Service, baby. That's where they needed to go. They needed to be locked up. They won't let you out now. Yeah, my man has serious mental health issues. That ain't no gangster. Yeah, yeah. These man them are bottom bees. That's why they come in there and they assimilate. I'm telling you now, I've balanced my masculine and feminine energy, but it's taken like time and I'm still balancing it. But most of the women, if not all, I'm going to say all the women in these environments are in their masculine energy. Yeah. They've got to be leaders. It's very militant. They have to lead men. A lot of the time they're following the cult leader or trying to impersonate the cult leader. And that's always male centered. Even if the church cult is owned by a woman, there'll be a spiritual father or there'll be a husband. So for example, you know, Nia Cerise, I don't think Nia Cerise and Timothy are together anymore, allegedly. But when they were doing Up the Plug, before they had a tiff, and now they haven't had the service since December. So you see, it's got nothing to do with God. It's about the relationship. Yeah. So even when there's a woman, it's like the husband is still the head. There's still some sort of like male authority that you'll be pointed back to learn from. So the energy is very masculine. And because the women are unhappy in their masculine energy, they're low vibrational, they're depressing. What happens is it's just a perpetuating cycle of unhealed abuse women who have now become the enabler and the abuser, because that's the way that they function and survive in these environments. Yeah. And that's why, like, battered women who come from those backgrounds and pasts, aunties, uncles, they assimilate well into these environments because it's all they know. It's all they know, man. It's all they know. It's all they know. They don't know any different. Our people are so indoctrinated. Like up the live, guys. Oh, this colour looks gorgeous, isn't it? Mixed together, chair. Are you all right? Oh my, Vogue, come on, Vogue. And this is the kind of stuff like you need to do. Like, ladies, get in your feminine energy, even if you're at work and stuff. Like, have your lip gloss, have your little mirror, have your little perfume, spray yourself. After work, get yourself a nice bouquet, treat yourself to a little candle, a nice little, do you know what I mean? Like drink or whatever. Like get yourself silk sheets, like get yourself gowns that you can wear in the house, like nice dressing gowns, like love yourself. You don't need a man, bro. Do it for yourself. Create your ambiance for yourself. I think it's really sad when like women can't keep their ish together without having a man. You know, them women that need a man to keep their yard clean, to keep them going, to keep them. It's just like, ooh. And there's big grown ass women that never get out of this cycle of needing a man. Is what I'm saying making sense? Because when they don't have a man, everything falls apart. Yard is nasty. They're not doing what they got to do for the kids. It's like they need someone watching over them, or they need like validation. They need that external validation from a man. Do you understand what I'm saying? In order to keep their ish together. Remember to subscribe on YouTube if you're enjoying what you're hearing. MESS. TikTok, I'm not feeling the likes, I'm not gonna lie. And if there's no liking, like, do you know what I mean? I'm just gonna stay on YouTube. There's only one person at the moment, but I don't mind, and I'll speak to my blood clot self. So if I do go, because I don't do no announcements, I just leave. I'll be on YouTube. It's the same name. I am a mother of 8 children. Wow. And honestly, my husband has been a great father and husband. Oh, that's nice. That's so nice to hear. Thank you for sharing that, Simmery. Because we rarely hear like, you know, like good like stories of marriages, but I say they exist. I say they exist. Like there are good marriages that exist. We've got a queen on here called Ines. I don't know if she's still on here. Happily married. Do you know what I'm saying? But the only way I think that dynamic works is you must be your husband's dream woman. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's usually when it works. Do you know what I mean? When the man looks at the woman like it's his dream woman, or the man is punching somewhat. So there's probably that kind of dynamic there. But I'm really happy that he looks after the 8 kids, do you know, because that's lovely. Do you know what I mean? Like the way that it was meant to be, like, you know, like that balance, yin yang, like both masculine and feminine energies, like equal. Like I feel like you have to be on the same vibration, like have the same vision, you know what I mean, together and work towards that. But I feel like when everything's controlled and you're getting told what to do, you almost like rebel from that. So yeah, I think if it works for you, it works for you. I personally don't believe in the institution of marriage. Like I've really deconstructed it and unpacked it, yeah. But I'm still here for like love ceremonies, unions. I get that people like want to be together. Do you know what I mean? Like just because that's not part of my life path, it doesn't mean that I can't celebrate other people and be happy for other people. Do you know what I mean? And that's why you need to make sure that you begin to heal, or you work on the healing, so that you don't turn into a hater. Because I could have responded to her being a hater, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't have a hating bone in my body, man. But still, like for those of us who are learning and trying to navigate this, because there is a lot of resentment. There's a lot of resentment because some women were waiting on God and trusting in God, and they left the cult in their late 20s. And this is something that I was thinking about the other day, meditating on. And they've come out and there's no life for them. There's no life for them on the outside world, because imagine coming out, being in your late 20s, you've been indoctrinated and programmed to think that being a wife is the end all and be all. You ain't got no kids. You don't know if you can have kids. They filled your head with all of this human fecal matter. So you're thinking about fertility, you're thinking about all different types of stuff. And a lot of women, when they're not getting chosen, or when they get married and they're not getting pregnant, they kind of see it as they might follow the science side of things because they're so desperate to have a child, but they're always going to see it as some sort of attack or curse, or you know what I mean. And it's so sad that because of these teachings that are so prevalent in these environments, people begin to internalize this, and as they internalize it, they become it. Because as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Because I remember I was watching something and it was like how you think about yourself, it has more power than the actual truth. And I was sitting there meditating on that, and I'm paraphrasing it. I don't know if it was exactly that, but I was sitting there thinking, and I was like, Ross Clark, like this broad is right. Then that scripture came to me, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And then I started thinking about the metaphysics and the spirituality and how you shape and you frame the world and your reality with your thoughts and your words. And that's why people think that like manifestation and understanding planets and things like that and planetary alignments is EVIR, but it's actually not. Do you know what I mean? Because you're just using the cycles to help you to manifest, to let go, to release. Yeah. And it's so important because you're supposed to live a life of like, you know, these daily positive thoughts, like to raise your vibration, to help you change and shift your reality, right? But it's actually really hard to do it. Like the actual parables, the actual teachings that Christ taught is really, really hard to achieve that. And that's why, you know, we go into like that Christ consciousness, that state of mind. Thank you, 8 Simmery, and I'm coming to you, my queen. Yeah. So I have found that certain words in the Bible, and this is why I won't just dash it away, when you look at other ancient texts, there are similarities, there are things that marry and correlate. And obviously, like, guys, I am aware of older ancient civilizations and their story of like redemption and their gods and their, you know, messiahs, if you will, that came before Christ. I am aware of that. Yeah. And the Romans, you know, teeth in parts of, you know, the goddess worship and different things. I don't want to go down that road. Thank you, 8 Simmery, but I'm just giving a little bit, throwing a bit out there. So the seekers and the intellects can understand that I'm aware of that. But this is a platform for like survivors trying to get out of cult systems. I don't want to overwhelm people. I have like lives for that. All right, but are we getting it? Honestly, my husband helped me to free myself from pretending who I am and who I am not. And he's Aquarius, I'm a Scorpio. Oh, that's nice. I'm so happy for you. I'm an Aquarius. I do think Aquarius men are good, but oh, child, the February Aquarians, ooh, but they are faithful. Aquarius, that's probably why you like him, because Aquarians, we're very loyal. We're like dogs, like so loyal and faithful. Like if you just treat us right, like with respect, and you know, we'll be with you for life. For life. There's a lot of like negative connotations around Aquarians, but that's not the thing. You like obviously you know how to handle him. Do you know what I mean? And that's what you got to do. You got to know. But them Aquarian men, oh my god, once they're like them swans. Once they find their mate, that's it. Yeah, but if you do something messed up to them, that's it, and they'll never come back and they'll never forgive you. That's what I think people don't like about Aquarians, because we're not very forgiving. Like once you do something to us, and that's the part that probably annoys you. Anyway, I digress. I mean, guys, like we've been through it, innit? Like we've been through it. We've been through a lot in these spaces. And, you know, I'm not here to like demonize marriages. As you can see, I'm speaking to a married woman right now. I think if you're in that arrangement and you're happy and you're thriving and that individual's bringing the best out of you, why not? Do you know what I mean? But my thing is, it's better to be by yourself than be with someone that is ABUSE in you. That's for damn sure. Yeah. Because these men are just going to drain you. They're just going to bleed you dry. All right. So I'm going to skim through some of the parallels that I've seen when looking at DV and institutional cult exit, okay? Because there's so many similarities with interpersonal post-separation abuse and the direct psychological concepts. You know, it shows that when this mechanism of absolute devotion is broken, so when we stop being bottom bees, the system invariably shifts from total adoration to complete elimination. So it's like night and day, because remember, the thinking is black and white. They can't think, oh, Leah's a good person, she served her for for however many years, and you know, oh, now she's left to go on to do whatever, but we appreciate. They can't think like that. Now I am the enemy, because it's a cult. And the cult leader and the men that are like in the highest echelons of these pyramid schemes, they know what's going on, guys. They don't believe in it. They don't believe in the human fecal matter. They don't believe in the stuff that they talk about, guys. And that's why like all their members are getting shocked now when they're seeing the truth. But it's like, why are you getting shocked? I told you David Antry was a thief. You know what I mean? And the thing is, people are not giving because of what I'm talking about. That's what they don't realize. They're not giving because of Leah. They're not giving because look at the times we're in. People don't have money, bro. Like people are struggling to put food on the table. People are struggling to put electricity and gas in the thing. People is, you know, there's so much going on, but because they disconnect themselves from the world and they act like, it's so weird because they act like the world doesn't exist. They disconnect us from it. They don't talk about it, but then they will spend a whole 6-hour session on bashing the world. Why is EVIL? Why you have to go out as it? You know what I mean? That's all programming to isolate you. So now when you see Habiba or you see Yusuf or Ahmed, do you understand where I'm going? You're moving a certain way because of what's been taught in the thing. It's like, you know how they move, you know, like ACES, like they'll be talking to you and like they'll be like, oh yeah, because you know all these people coming off the boat and you're sitting there thinking, sorry. But they're so used to speaking this way. King J in the cup, they're so used to talking like this that they don't even realize that it's offensive to other people. And that's exactly how they are. They give them this scripted vibe. It's like you say this, you don't say this. And then another thing that they do as well that I noticed that isolates you is they basically lie to you, yeah, and they make you feel like you're like some leader, some percenter leader, called anointed leader of God or whatever, yeah. And like they say to you that you shouldn't have this relationship with your sheep where like it's too close or whatever. It's because you're above them, innit? And they're beneath you. And they need to like get the pecking order. So you can't make friends, not in uni, not in work, not anywhere. Not anywhere, because you're either thinking, when you see someone, you're not thinking, oh, that would be a nice friend. I might want to like get to know that girl. Like no, your whole mind is thinking, I need to invite her to church. I need to tell this soul about. So people never develop real meaningful relationships. It's all like very manufactured. There's no space for you to be organic and autonomous because that's not allowed. Critical thinking and that creative space is not allowed in these environments. Yeah. So what happens is the person starts to unalive from the inside out. Oh, hey, over the top. Thanks for the heart, me baby. And that's exactly how it happens. And survivors, you know, like what I'm saying is true. You know what I'm saying is true. And I think for me, this is why I'm tired. You lot can see I'm not well, not 100%. But I'll drag myself on here because I just love you guys so much. Like, even just aside from like being survivors, I don't want to get emotional. Your character. And even just like being on here and the support, and when I see people coming on, and it gives me the will to keep going and keep the fight. And I will. For all of us. Because what was done to us is so deep. And I sit here and I don't just think of myself, you know, I think of others and the aftermath. Like, it's like when you come out of there, it's just a BLOOD bath. But because it's not in the physical, it's in the spiritual. And this is why I think with this latest incident that I had to go through, it really opened my eyes, because I think God kind of wants me to be that bridge. Because there are people who give the cult like psycho ed and they'll be, but then they don't really talk about the spiritual. And I feel like that's where survivors are feeling really alone. and losing their mind as well. Because the spiritual side is absolutely, like, it exists and it's important. And I think we do need to discuss that, but we also need to, like, break down how this witchcraft, or this craft, I just want to call it dark craft, how this dark craft is able to influence, like, get into our psyche. Yeah, because remember, it's all psychological. And so this is why I teach this. Yeah, I hope what I'm saying is making sense. So some of the parallels between post-cult exit and post-separation AbuseThe that we discussed yesterday was the adoration-to-elimination shift. We see the loyalty phase, the divergence incident, the moment when the person stops being loyal, showing unaliving loyalty to the cult leader. It could be something so subtle that you didn't even mean to, challenge authority or whatever, but, they're jealous, you caught them on a bad day, whatever. Yeah, get a black mark, you're in the black book. You got to work your way up all again. Trust is gone. The demonic reframing, so we spoke about this, dragging your name through the mud, calling you a demon, to silence you so that they can do up damage control within the self-sealing system. And then obviously, like, they discard you when you're no longer useful to them, when they've rinsed you out. And then they create these, like, fake promotions, like, pastor is setting up a branch, whatever. They just want you out the way, babe. They just want you out the way, sweetie pie. Yeah, because now you're looking old, baby. Because you got to remember, people get recruited from 11, 14, like, once they've done their 10-year stretch, they're old now. They're old, soiled goods. They're ready for marriage. Go and have them kids and go and start the branches. Oh my God, so there's so many, is it Danon? Danon, there's so many fake promotions. And I know in RPF, they have, like, the kitchen, RPF have a whole business that they run illegally in the church cult. Catch the tea. So at first, it started where they were giving them, it was just like small things, wasn't it, at first? Like, they were just giving them small food. I think was it like chocolates, like stuff like that. And then they expanded it to, I think, burgers and things like that. Now they're doing full-blown jollof with meat and whatever. And you see, like, it's a Nigerian church cult, innit? And they're very entrepreneurial people. Yeah. So Austin started noticing that all of the youth were going to the chicken shop. And he was like, why are they getting all our money? This is literally what he said to the congregation, allegedly. So my man started his own chicken shop and grocery store inside the church cult. So who had to do everything in there? The members. The members had to create the space. The members have to go to Costco or wherever they're going in and getting the boxed chicken. It's the members that are seasoning the food from the night before. So Austin's cha-ching, he's getting in the dough. The members are doing this as free labor. They brainwash them so much. I remember when we used to have so much chicken, yeah, how they do it is they either do it in, like, big buckets, seasoning the meat, or they do it in black bin liners, put all of the seasonings in it, they shake it, and they season it up in the black bin liner. So they can easily store it in the fridge or wherever to take to the event. Or we do it on the morning of. And when we're doing it, oh my God, it's such a blessing. Someone's cutting hundreds of onions. Another person's doing this. Another person's skinning and washing a chicken. It's a whole operation. Like how caterers would be doing up for a function that they're getting paid for. You got to remember, there's caterers outside in these streets who are getting a lot of money. They get a lot of money to deliver this service. So if they were bringing someone in to do this, they would just about break even. So then what does it become? What does it become? Like, this is why I'm saying to you, they are literally making, like, money. It's like zero profit. And to add injury to insult, the members are paying for the food to be bought in bulk. They are then exploiting the members to be the caterers and do all of the manual laboring. And you can't tell me that these people in there and indoctrinated on a piping hot summer's day like this, They would rather be inside. Shabayababa, tiyababa, bushatodabobo, basatayaba, shitaba. That's what they'd rather be doing when it's 33 degrees outside in these streets. They'd rather be cooped up with the low ceiling building, because you know RPF have moved into that low ceiling building. Yeah. And everyone's just, there's just aromas. Yes, so there's just aromas of the summer fruits. Because look at it. Look how hot it is outside. People ain't going home to freshen up. They're going straight from work to go and do the prayer. Yeah. So don't come and have any chat. That's why I'm like, you lot who are in there, you can't have any chat for me, babes. Because the things that you're putting up with, the way that you're getting treated, you want to come outside and you want me to, oh no, baby boy. It's not going to be like that. Sorry, I sent an invite to someone by accident. And sorry. Hello? Hello? Who is this? Yeah. Oh no, I don't know how to get rid of them. You know, it's been a while. Wait, hold on. Oh my God, guys, I'm so sorry. I've added someone and I don't know how to get rid of them. Wait, hold on. If the world doesn't... Oh my God, I don't even know how to mute. Oh, look, here we go. All right, I've muted them. I can't remember how to block them. Sorry, guys. I don't know who that is. He's got a sign of Jesus there. Oh, he's come off. He's got a sign of Jesus there. I'm so sorry, babe, that your family member or your loved one is in these cults. You said that they don't talk to you anymore. That's very common. The main thing that they want to do when you're in these groups is they want to isolate the members from family. But I could argue that institutions do that because, you know, dodgy social workers love to write fake reports, boy, and remove children. So it's very similar. But my advice to people who have anyone inside of these cults is don't say it's a cult. Don't talk to them about it being a cult, because that's what they want. They want you to be the enemy so that they can like further demonize you in there. And the little connection that you have with your family member, you want to try and keep it at all means necessary. So what I kind of say to like people who have like family members in there, I say like your whole mission is to just keep that contact, because it's psychological warfare. So if you allow them to silence you and cut off that connection, then they've kind of won in a way. You're never going to get like your child, your sibling, your whatever to be there like they used to be there. It's just not going to happen. But if they know that there's somebody who's non-judgmental, there's a safe space, if and when they do have those concerns, you'll be the first person that they come rushing to. And essentially this is what we want. Yeah. So we're in it for the long haul. We're not like them looking for these, you know, quick fix results or whatever. We understand that these things take time, because guys, you've got to remember, like, these people that are in there, they've got so much trauma. And that's why I don't go in like doing up cave Captain Saver 304, because it's like, I'm going to go in there and do what? You're going to forcibly remove people against their will, even though they're against their will being in there, because, you know, a false prophet has, you know, colonized their mind. Still, you know that these things are not in laws and legislations. Yeah. And this is why I say you've got to be very careful with these groups, y'all, because they're quick to call the popo. They love to call the popo. The church mandem love to call the popo. They love to call the popo chair. Yeah. The so-called gangsters, the so-called GMs that were riding out before they got into church. Everything in there is fake. All the people are fake. Everybody's wearing a mask. Everybody's wearing a mask. And it's not till you come out that you see people's true colors, and it's UGLY. Trust me. That's why they're in there. That's why they're in there, because they are at MESS. That's how they get their validation. The most wicked types of people are in these spaces. Don't you get it? And I've clocked it. I've realized it, man. That's why they go there, to get the validation, to be told that they're good, to be told that they're a sinner saved by grace, to be told. It's a form of supply. These settings are a form of supply for a narc, especially a man who's doing up the toxic masculinity, misogynist. It's like the fountain of youth for them. So what us ladies, especially the ladies, what we need to be saying, like the baddies, the fine gal them, we need to be saying, we're going to leave them to it. Leave them to it in there, guys. Leave them to it. Because soon it's going to become so evident, like people are going to feel shame to be associated with these types of groups. The only people we're going to get in there, unfortunately, are our people, guys. And I just think that the damage that has been done to us through slavery and, you know, all of that, I don't know, anything can happen, isn't it? Like, God can do anything, but God can do anything. Though your way may seem impossible, and the Lord you cannot bear, He can do it. He can do it. He can do anything. He can do anything. Remember, I was in the choir for years. I could just bust it out like that. Oh, why is she still talking about the cult? When does she leave it? Da, 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 da. And then we've got the re-traumatization loop when we leave these settings, and then we have to, like, you know, engage with NHS, talking therapy, social services, police reporting, housing, etc. Even if you're not on the social services books, you might be in and out of that hospital chair because of the stress, just the stress of it, the realization of it, yeah. And this can trigger institutional betrayal from the receptionist to the nurses. Again, they're in this system, they're disgruntled, they don't want to be there, they're underpaid. Yeah. You've got bureaucratic failure, so the bureaucracy, when they talk to you like you're a robot, like it's like, and that's very triggering, because in the cult, when you talk to people, it's very scripted responses. Similarly, with these institutions, you'll be trying to break things down to them and explain things to them, and it's like, it's not ignorance, it's bureaucracy. They've got a box to tick. So you could be talking all the way, they're just disassociating, they're not listening to what you're saying. They've got too much to do up. So it's just about hearing what they need to hear and then ticking that box. You are the most qualified to talk on it. Oh, thank you, babe. 18 years is no joke. Babes, like, when we have the survivor link up, I think there's going to be a lot more of us, because I'm going to do it differently, do personal invitations. I've got my walker. I'm disabled. It's just going to be calm. Just a nice play. I can't even drink like that, but I'm not going to spoil it for the rest of the survivors, because I know Queen Nancy, she's not here, but I'll at least have a glass with her, though. I'm not going to lie. She likes to have a good old drink. So we still have to go somewhere where survivors can access it, because just because I can't drink now, I can't. But I feel like we need to be in person, like talking, empowering one another, and seeing the faces, like face to face, so we know we're not alone. When's the next link up? Enjoyed the one I went to. Oh, thank you, babe. Oh, that's you, girl. I'm going to say summer. So I'm thinking around July, August times. Would you lot think? July, August time. Because I got a nice idea for us, man. Because I've got some money. We've got about like £100, but we've got a bit more than that in the Monzo account, guys. There's about £50 in there that I set up, but I'm locked out. I don't know how to get back in it. I've got to sort it out. But we have got money there, and I've seen like nice little disposable barbecues that we could take, you know, like, even they do like stone baked, like pizza ovens and stuff. We can really do up something nice. So once the summer comes, you know me, I'm a nature girl. I love nature. I feel like when we're in nature, it's quite healing. But for Nick Nack, who's here, I do have the same venue that we were doing up, and I think that venue would be perfect, because we've got the outside. We can access the outside and the inside. So around July, August, I'm thinking, yeah. And the kids will be on summer holiday as well. So I might just make it like a family thing as well, because like childcare is another issue. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we can do that up, because I don't want to say too much, but trust me, it will all be in the information pack that I send. Yeah, that venue was amazing. Looking forward to it. Thank you, baby girl. It's so nice. I love Don't Make Me Cry. And babe, with my number, I don't have my phones anymore. So once I get a number, like just message me so I know your profile so I can give people my number as well. But it's going to be litty because we haven't seen each other for so long as well. I think it's going to be really emotional. I think like seeing people in the flesh and, like when you hear others' stories and you're like, oh my God, that's my story. Oh my God, I experienced that. It's so comforting. Like to be honest, what keeps me going is the survivor link ups that we had. Like I really hold on to that. And to see a knick-knack in here as well. I don't want to bawl. I don't want to bawl my eyes out, but it's just so encouraging, man. To just see the support. Because I understand with the survivors, like we're like ghosts, innit? Like we've had so much trauma. We don't really like go out like that. We don't really like to like ourselves to be known. We like to be in the background of we're observers because we've learned in life, we've been stung in it. So we naturally become the observer so that we can preempt dangers. Yeah. And that's why even when things are going good for you as a trauma survivor, you'll be looking for errors or you'll be looking for the next thing to come up. And for me personally, it works for me because there is always something else coming. But I have separated myself from going into like stressful cortisol, like as you can hear, like in the environment with the candles and everything like that. I have a very peaceful environment. So my house is ironclad. So when people try and bring that negative energy and that low vibrational energy, it's not going to run in this house. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because this house, it holds a vibration in the yard. And that's what we need to get to, because your house has to be your haven. Alpha male in the cup. So when you experience this institutional betrayal, whatever, you can come back to your haven and release and let go. And that's why people become so ill in these settings, because they've church hopped. They're hiding behind bureaucracy, spiritual bureaucracy, and bypassing. People, the people that cult hop, they don't actually really change, Like you have to deconstruct outside of religion. You've got to deconstruct outside of religion. Okay, I'll shout you. I remember the advice you gave me about being happy, glowing up. Oh, and I was just gonna say, like, from your profile picture is given, I can tell, I can feel it, knick-knack. I can feel the energy shift, babe. I can feel it, like in myself. I can see that you're living life, like looking beautiful, and you're free. And how does freedom feel? How does it feel? And I don't want to even get emotional, but like knick-knack coming on, for me, that just gives me so much validation and hope, because I didn't get to like live my life, and I say to my girls, like, when you get older, like as soon as you get 18, like have a bucket list, travel the world, work, save your money, go out there and see the world, like experience it, be free as a bird. Because if I could have turned the clock back, I would have done a lot more. I don't have regrets, because I know that I don't know how much life I've got left, but with the life that I've got left, I'm going to try and, explore what I can. But I feel so happy for you. Do you know what I mean? Just keep living your life, man, because they're EVIL in there. They're EVIL. And I'm not saying people shouldn't go to church. Like, if that's what you want to do it up. But just please, like, work on your confidence first. Like, your insecurities, like, build yourself up so that, a false prophet can't come and dupe you. Because it's so sophisticated. It's so sophisticated and it's so subtle what they do. And if you come from a certain church cult where it had a certain typology of abuse attached to a culture, when you go somewhere else, you may not be as cognizant with that culture. Queen Ella in the car. Yeah, it might be more Eurocentric. And you're thinking, yeah, like, so you haven't healed because your own people trigger you. So wouldn't that suggest that you've got to come away from the setting and like work on that trauma so that you're able to essentially go anywhere? Because that can leave you vulnerable, choosing a church cult because it's Eurocentric, because you were in a very kind of like, African setting. Hey, my queen. So you got to think about things like that, because I had to really like meditate and think, And then also, why was I going to church? It was to prove a point to them so that they could see I hadn't fallen off. I'm not a sinner. But why? Why do it? I got to do that before God, not a man. So I had to really change my way of thinking. I've traveled, been to events, lost weight, changed my look, clothes, dated, deconstruct. Oh, Nick, I'm so happy for you. Oh my God. Sorry, guys, I just need a minute. Such a beautiful babe as well, man. Such a beautiful babe. And now you're seeing, in it, like you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like, wow, like, look at you. Do you know what I mean? And you did that. You did that. They were holding us back, bro. And a lot of it is like the trauma, you know, the trauma and the sickness that we're carrying in our bodies as well. Like, you got to take time to like just rest and release that, because the reason why a lot of people look haggard and like old and like really haggard is because there's no rest. They don't rest. And if you don't like learn the art, do you understand what I'm saying, of like resting? Because even when you're resting, you cannot be resting. Do you understand? You could be fighting in your dreams, bro. You know what I mean? You gotta get yourself into that like calming state before you go to sleep. That's why I said, like, have your candles, safety first, and then have your candles, and then have like your frequencies playing, because obviously they've told us that this is EVIL. But guys, if you're desperate and you're thinking, oh my God, I can't do it anymore, ain't it worth just putting on a frequency on YouTube and having a little go and lighting a little candle and laying there and taking some deep breaths in and some deep breaths out? I'm not saying it's going to solve your problem, but it will help you to just get through that crisis, just to get through that part. Because a lot of us, I've been diagnosed with EUPD and CPTSD, as you know. So when things happen, it can be very high voltage for me. Plus, I've got the Addison's and the chronic kidney disease. So my cortisol, my adrenaline just spikes. And I can't see that this is temporary. I could do ABCD. I can't comprehend it. I'm just faced with the crisis and I'm like, ugh. Yeah. So part of me living longer is being able to control that and not allow my adrenaline to spike. So what is that about? Protecting my energy and my space. And I got to do that. And there's certain people that I never thought I would cut off, but I've had to cut them off. Minakir. They show their ass. Just ABUSE. Just ABUSE. And it's bad. It's really, really bad, guys. I swear to God. And I will not be silenced. You think now because I'm not talking, I will not. Listen, everybody's day comes, boy. Everybody's day comes. Yeah, what comes around goes around. Yeah, I had to take a bit of time offline, my love. You know, just to get myself together. Like, that's what a lot of TikTokers like need to do right now. They need to come offline and take some space and get their together. Because it's like, obviously TikTok's good, but there's a time where like you need to reflect when you're seeing yourself like back. You know what I mean? But a lot of TikTokers, they do that. They're not like reflective practitioners. They don't critically reflect. They don't take the time to process and look back on the content. That's why I've stopped just like churning out content for now as well, because I need to like process. And I'm also, there's stuff that I'm going through, guys. You can tell by the shift in what I'm speaking about, because, you know, I don't talk on things I haven't experienced or survivors haven't directly experienced. And it is hard teaching from a place of like, you know, like suffering and learning and getting myself up to come on. Do you know what I mean? It's nothing short of the grace of God. And because there's a lot of mystical manipulation in there, they do a lot of fake miracles. But if you look at the miracles that Jesus Christ did, and a lot of them were like, it was metaphorical. Yeah. It was to do with like, you know, it was like the psyche, like the mind, like the woman with what was it, the issue of blood. If we look at that, like bleeding, that could be to do with stress, like prolonged stress. We know that causes, you know, like people to bleed. Like when you look at it, you know, like from like a logical scientific lens, and then you contextualize it, it all becomes so much clearer. Even like the one about the demons, the madman of Gadara, that's trauma. For someone to go in a cave and they're fingering themselves night and day, that's trauma. I'm sure if we were able to get the madman of Gadara's story, and he had a book in there, and we were able to see his past and what he had gone through, we would understand what it took him to get there. But again, there's a lot of black and white thinking. There's a lack of empathy. And so, and they don't like seek to find, they don't like unpack the scriptures and they don't have conversations. They have dictatorship lessons. And a lot of these church cults are trying to make very subtle, slight changes so that they're in tune with the world, because they've been, don't you see it? It's so clear. It's just it's projection, bro. Everything's been projection. Everything's been projection. The Jezebel stuff, because most of the men in there are sleeping with the Jezebel. Don't you get it? And that's on period, point blank. That is absolute facts. It's facts. I have the same dress like what you're wearing, my beautiful sister. Oh, thanks, babe. It's great, isn't it? It's so free, man. I've got like a brownie one as well, girl. You look well cool. Thanks, babe. Thanks, Saint. Saint is in a tattoo studio. Yeah. I need to get a tat. Because I'm not going to lie, if I hadn't been in that DUMP for 18 years, I would have been tatted out. Because I was like one of the first gal them that got the tattoo. I've got a tat on my back. You probably can't see it. It's quite a big one with all my nan's names and dates. And I got that 15 turning 16. And then I got that one. I was young, like 18. Women weren't getting tats. Like back in, that tat person's hair. This is the 2000s, baby. 2002. What gal them was tatting on their body? No. Oh, you're in Slough. Oh, okay. Let me follow you, because my mum's up in West Share. And I wanted a person. I've just followed you. So message me up, man. So, because when I'm ready for my tat, I can come to you, innit? I'm going to tap my kids' names on me. Because them kids are my world, man. They've rocked it out with me. Like, I was looking for the fairy tale, like, the Sleeping Beauty fairy tale, and she goes off with the prince and whatever. But my fairy tale was my kids. My fairy tale is those beautiful children that have been given to me as a gift from God. And together during this time, there's been so much healing. Like, my daughters are healing my inner child. My daughters are making me softer and see the world through like a lens of hope. That I just wouldn't have that lens if it wasn't for my girls. All right, let's get into it. Now I want to help the ladies who are in DV situations, yeah? I want to give you some leverage on the Domestic Abuse Act, because while this act does not explicitly use the word cults or sect or church, the legal frameworks contain statutory mechanisms that survivors can utilize to dismantle these abuse strategies, okay? So there's small groups within this. So there's a legal criterion, and that is to activate the civil and criminal protections of the Domestic Abuse Act 2021. What this allows us to do is access like non-molestation orders, occupational orders, and criminal charges for coercive control. That's the shift, that's the difference. So it's giving you a gateway and a pathway into getting protection through the Domestic Abuse Bill. If you have experienced DV, you can then access free legal aid to get an NMO, which can lead to like other things like court proceedings, etc. Yeah. So then we've got the intimate familial gateway. So if the institutional abuse is perpetrated by a spouse, ex-partner, co-parent, or family member who belongs to or leads the high control group, the act fully applies. Queen Tasia in the cut. And then we've got the post-separation coercive control expansion. So it's a criminal offence to engage in controlling or coercive behaviour against the ex-partner, even if you no longer live together. And this includes separation, stalking, litigation, abuse, harassment via third parties and smear campaigns. So especially if you've got like a mole in there, get them to record it up, man. Oh, Ashley, I said, I'm so happy you're back. I'm so happy to see you, girl. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Tasia. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Guys, I promise you, I am dragging myself on here. If you lot knew what I was going through behind the scenes, the battle. I've been dragging myself on here for the collective. I absolutely love you guys, and thanks for speaking in the chat and encouraging me. I appreciate you all. I love you guys. I love the collective. You lot know I keep myself to myself. I don't. You lot, I think I like this as well. And I just love you guys so much. Okay, so if you haven't been told that, I love you, and I mean that, and I hope that you feel the vibration of me saying that to you. Yeah. Oh, Fireheart, I need to get back to you. Welcome. And then there's the financial evidence trail, so economic abuse. So if an abuser within a personally connected relationship has manipulated resources, stolen funds, or exploited money, the law tracks this through explicit metrics. So even if there's been no official title, but it's intimate, you were dealing with each other in these spaces, go and get your NMO, bruv. Go and take your receipts. Go and call up victim support. We need to start getting them, man. Because if the women start reporting, and the men, they'll start to see a pattern, guys, in the litigation. Yeah. Oh, you got one. Me too, girl. And it gets techie, but Minakir, I'll accept whatever conditions so that this individual can't come near me. Whatever you want me to accept, Your Honor. I don't care. Just say there's something on that one. Yeah, in it, Tasia, because sometimes you have to, take the equal thing and do up the undertaking, and just do up whatever you got to do it up, ladies. Because when it comes to the courts and proving things, it all gets techie. It all gets techie. The reason you're going this way is basically to cover yourself, protect yourself, yeah? Get it out of there. But thank you, because you helped me so much. Oh, thank you, Queen. You guys have helped me so much. And, I think we're on a journey. And I'm so happy to see, oh my God, so many survivors have deconstructed in time for summer. You lot are going to be outside in these streets. I'm going to have to get the survivor link up. I'm going to get it locked in and at least put the date out for y'all, yeah? I think what I'm going to have to say, guys, is even if I'm unwell, I think it should still go ahead. Because me, just don't know with your health. But I am going to nominate someone like Angela. She doesn't know yet. Andrew, you hear? I love you. Hey, I've left my church cult, babe. RPF is done out. Do you know what? Where's the other Dannon? Are you here? Look at your age, mate. Look at your namesake. Dannon, are you around? Where are you? Come and answer now. Look here. Look. There's your age mates. Look, you're together. Both from the RPF. Oh, do you know what? You lot, give me some content for RPF, man. I need to do something up because that's too... Fireheart, message me up because you've already started messaging me, innit? Let's get it, man. Come on, Dannon, man. Maybe I should just expose the food thing, but I haven't got all of the information, but I'm just going to do it off a memory because it's allegedly anyway. Maybe us being around you might give you a little spruce, sis. It's so true. It's so true. I think that because I've been so unwell, I'm going to drag myself. I'm going to definitely come, guys. Because I think being around the collective, oh God, we're all going to be barling, isn't it? We're going to have to bring a bit of drink. Because I want to be in nature. I want it to be like, kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. I want that kind of vibe. Like, I'm a piano. Do you know what I mean? A bit like jazz house vibes. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, just everyone just being free, man. Just releasing the trauma. Are you okay? Like, that's what I'm on. The pastor claims that he has a special covering that nobody will unalive in the church cult. Yes, you're reminding me. Yes. Yeah. You know, Austin. And the thing is, I know that there was a sibling of a member that unalived or something went down. Like a lot of siblings and stuff. But he'll say, that's not the member. That's how he continues to lie. Yes, he has said that when I was there. Whoa. Tragically, a young boy did unalive in the church, and then he started changing the covering. Me as well. I will come with my crutches. Tasia, I love you. All of us have got needs, man. That's what I've realized because of the trauma. It's because of the trauma, man. And we're good-hearted people. So it's like our heart can't take it. Our heart can't take it. And then, Tasia, we have to be there for the kids. We have to be there for the kids. So what happens is we can't mentally afford to let go. Yeah, because once you let go, that's it. That's it. And I tell you something, my heart goes out to the women that have tried, man. That have tried. The soldiers on the battlefield, man. But it was too much. It was too much. Too much, one after the other. one after the other, and a woman having to carry that on her own, man. Like, I'm a single mum now. I know what it's like. Do you know what I mean? And I've seen the cruelty, like how these type of men can be. Do you know, these like misogynistic, patriarchal men? I've seen it, you know, and it's hard. It's hard when, you know, two people have two completely different visions because one has geared so far from what they originally said. And that's got nothing to do with religion. And this is where people get it twisted. It's to do with your character. It's to do with your values. It's to do with your morals. Because we were all in there. But don't you see the EVIL people are still in there, guys? When you was in there, there were certain people that you were always a bit like, I'm not sure. They're still in there. And the people that, you know, like are good-hearted people, pure souls, they're out. They've got out. I couldn't believe it when I heard how many people had left my cult, like who were from the same batch, including two high-ranking members that I never thought would leave. They've left. I was told in the church that I had a spirit of autism, and it made me go into psychosis. That is absolutely disgusting. I just had to screenshot that. That's enough for me. I am so angry. What the hell is that? What is that? The hell is that? I was told God wouldn't make me autistic. Funny thing is, I am autistic, so it would have had to be gossiped about. And you know, part of the deconstruction, guys, this is why I promote like metaphysics and I promote like spiritualism and spirituality, because it's so big and broad, it's so wide. Like, you go within it and you decide based off your own intellect what's right for you. You take what resonates, you leave what doesn't, right? But when you go into that metaphysics, like, because there's a lot of research that they're doing around like neurodivergent people now, and a lot of like, you know, science, like cells like belonging to like superhumans and the way that we think and things like that. And when you get to know the truth behind mental health and these labels that they've put on us, and I will do a live on that. I will do it. I am going to do a live on it. I'm just still unpacking it, guys, because you know, when it gets to the conspiracists and that, they use it. It goes into so much stuff, and I'm feeling a bit confused. So I want to lock it in. But all you need to know is, as neurodivergent people, we have literal superpowers, and that's why they've tried to like hold us down and like break us down. Psychosis is such a scary experience. Lost my damn mind. You know what? I think most of us have been there, Jay, you know. In my spiritual journey, I'm still a Christian, but I need to find a good church. Yeah, that's it, babe. Like, you need to just work on yourself first, and you will get led to that church, girl. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you'll get led there. Do you know what I mean? It might just be one random day, you're on your little nature walk, you hear some singing or whatever, you'll get led. And because you've done that work on yourself, you'll understand like synchronicity and the way things have happened. And because you trust yourself now, because that's what we have to do. We need to leave and learn to trust ourselves again. Because you may go there and it might seem like a beautiful setting, but there's something in there. And you've got that gut-wrenching feeling that you know not to ignore. So you say, all right, even though this is a beautiful space, I'm not going to rush it. I'm going to take time. It's not going away from me. You know, anything can be an altar. Do you understand? Nature is and was the altar of God. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Like, we don't need to be in them brick walls. So having that and getting that personal relationship with God locked in, so nobody can't tell you no different when you go in there. Nobody can't make you turn on your God. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because you got to remember, in there, it's the God of Austin, the God of David Antry, the God of Dag Heward Mills. That's what it is, guys. It's a psyche thing. I swear to God, it's a psyche thing, guys. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Clock it. How do you report RPF in these churches? The brainwashing is strong. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, yeah. I've got survivors like a little group, yeah. They come under KAC, and they've been doing some work behind the scenes to get them like exposed and whatever. But you see, like when it comes to like charity commissions and things like that, again, this is where we go into institutional betrayal. So we have the same tick box exercises, the same bureaucracy. Do you know what I mean? Like people are dragging their, to them it's just a 9 to 5. They clock in, they clock out. And a 9 to 5 is the most debilitating thing that you can do for your soul. Yeah, that's why a lot of people look so haggard and unalive young. If you're doing up a 9 to 5, as I said, you need to have spaces like in between. If that's your lunch, make sure that's you take that hour or you take that 45 minutes. That is your sacred space. You don't get consumed by the work. You don't go into you don't get out of balance to the point where you're coming overwhelmed, and then that's how it starts to become toxic, because you haven't put up the boundaries. You're not taking your lunch. What you're teaching the provider is exploit me. Here I am. You've got a big sign on your head saying, take advantage of me, use me. Yeah. So you need to make that your sacred space and go and find a place near work where you can be at one, be with nature, have your headphones in, have your music playing, eat your food, tap into another zone, another dimension during that time. And that can help. Like a lot of people say, Leo, it's not about skincare, it's my spirituality. I have like spiritual practices. I have a routine. I light my candles, my incense. Do you know what I mean? I create the ambiance. I have my frequencies. I'm tapped in. When PA was preaching, he spoke about people that have demonic assignments against the cult. Oh, okay. Guilty. Guilty as charged. But that faith has been tampered with, hence why they tamper with the people. Oh, I'm not gonna lie, guys. Garcia does have a very good point there, chair. I'm not gonna lie, she does have a very good point. That's why I said deconstruction's very important. Deconstruction's very, but people are afraid. They're scared that their mind won't be strong enough and that they won't believe in Christ anymore. But Christ says that the truth will set you free, though. That's what people don't realize. You've got to read the words. You've got to read the words and seek before you go chasing to follow a mere man. Yeah, that hasn't even dealt with his childhood trauma since the 60s and the 70s. You're going to go and fast yourself to put your trust and hope in a man that hasn't dealt with his trauma since the 60s and 70s. And now we're looking at granddad that has never dealt with his trauma, never gone to therapy, never done anything to help himself. And then young, vulnerable people, that is and money, that is a very, very dangerous combination. Yeah. But as I said, guys, I think it's going to take and sadly, but like a Victoria Kalimbe thing for the government to set up, and then they'll just put it in legislation to just hush us up. Because then, yeah, we've got the legislation. You know what I mean? It's very strict. It's very bureaucratic. So what was the question someone asked me? I've just gone all the way off reporting. So yeah, so babe, it's very tick box exercise. Yeah. Sometimes they will do something, sometimes they won't. It depends on the evidence and what you're presenting. So my advice to you is, if you are thinking about exposing RPF, and this is the point of survivor link-ups and that, because we can just do an overall thing as a collective, which is what I wanted to speak to you about, but that's something that we have to talk about in person. Queen Innes in the car. And then there are groups. There are what do I call you guys? Alliances. Can I say, what's coalition? Is that a bad thing? What's coalition? But anyway, then there's groups of you in here so you can gather your evidence. The strongest thing is bank statements. That's where we need to start. Get in all your bank statements. You can ask the bank for them, dating back from whenever you first joined. And then we need to go through highlights, the offerings, and then any type of, when you're tapping, offerings as well, tithing, you need to highlight all of the stuff, and then we need to add it up. I've started doing that. We started that process with members, but one member started getting into, she got over 100 and something thousand, or was it 200 and something thousand, and she had to stop. She's severely disabled now, like me. So does that make sense, babe? So if you do want to report them, keep all your receipts, text messages of coercive control. And another thing that I would suggest is, and I'll do a session going through this, is I think we need to go through the charity commissions, like the do's and don'ts, the policies and the guidelines, because I don't even know what they're supposed to be doing in there. Do you know what I'm saying? And then once we've got that, then we can start to discuss as a collective how we will collate this. Because as a collective, if we're collating all this evidence and then they start getting it coming through, they're going to take that higher to a higher investigative like team or whatever to just look at this as an issue. So I feel like that's a good move forward, because you have to remember they've got numbers, but so blood clot have we. Are you all right? We got numbers here as well, baby. You know what I mean? With these things, you don't need a lot of people to take them to court. I think that should be our next move, you know. So as I'm going through this DV stuff, I'll do a session this week on breaking down like what the charity commission is, what they're supposed to do, and I'll use a couple of cults as examples with their their accounts, because then when you go on the charity, is it the charity commissions, whatever, we can see their accounts, what they've been raking in. Because I think one of the ways that SPAC got shut down was through like all of the 419 activity, yeah, but they were just sloppy and messy, yeah. Like it was really like, when you look at the report, it was just such a MESS. They had to shut it down. Yeah, but as Taja says, it's all 419. They're all doing exactly the same thing. And they don't want to come under the microscope of that level of investigation, yeah, where people are coming in, they want to look at the books, they want to do, allegedly PA is using church funds to build a house in Nigeria, reportedly. So I think I should cover the stuff that they do with the food, and then also the Nigeria thing. What did they call it? Is it RPF City? Because Austin is not the pastor of the church, it's Pastor Adol Aginwayodu. Aginwayodu, I think it is. Paul Aginwayodu. And he has their headquarters in Niger. In Niger. Yeah, they've got that big building and it just looks like the building of horrors. The spirit that is on that house is like SA and PDF, like young kids, allegedly. I've made a post of it, trigger warning. It's on YouTube, where the victims, the children, the little kids are, making disclosures of just that, including Bishop Paul Adult of RPF. So it's a very, very dark place. He robs people from their opportunities. Is sick, absolutely. And he does that thing where the new members, like when they're desperate and vulnerable, he gives them money. He gives them money. Like that is, he's just straight up GROOM in them, yeah. Even like his wife, he married his wife or started courting her at 19 or whatever. She started the church cult young. She was a normal member. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and what I find in these spaces is there's a lot of blurred lines. There's a lot of blurred lines. There's no transparency. There's no transparent, like, overall document that they have. Do you know what I'm saying? That we can use as guidance. We've got to go back to the charity commissions. But again, what we've got to be prepared for is, as we're knocking on these charity commissioners' doors, it's very bureaucratic and it's very like tick box exercise. We could just get a letter back saying, oh, thank you, we've looked into this, we're going to keep an eye, blah, blah, blah. And that's the thing, like anything that's, worth fighting for is hard. So I think now what I want to do is just start preparing survivors, like, for that, like moving into that, the ones that do want to. And even if you think you're not sure, just do it. So you've got that for yourself. He told her it was a calling to be married to her, allegedly. Ooh, chill. Oh my God, I've got a comment. I'm going to do an RPF live this week. You lot have got me going. I've got a lot of like wraps that I can wear, and I'll just throw this on. Do you know what I mean? That's how they look in there. I wish my I was steady on my feet. I would have come on the live sweeping. That's why you walk out of there drained and probably feeling lost. Oh my God, Tay's just so on point. What I don't like about him is he is actually the only person that can hear from God. Ooh, child, we're getting into it today. And that's the thing, guys. This is one of the main issues with the transcendental belief systems and the mystical manipulation and the indoctrination. What I will say as well about Austin, he's dangerous because he is gifted in terms of he can play instruments, he hears music, doesn't he? He's very involved with the praise and worship. And so music is he would have taught praise and worship and all those people that it's like the main part of the ministry, and it's true. Yeah. So because he's got that gift of like music and whatever, people will be drawn to him to learn. And what did he blow in your face? Yeah, he's very charismatic and charming. Yeah. What did he blow in your face, my love? And so what he does is he uses the music to create an atmosphere where people go into like trance-like states. A lot of people are sleep deprived. A lot of people haven't eaten. So they just go into these like it's like how can I just, it's like trance, like the words are not coming to me because I'm so tired, but when you're in that state, you're more receptive to being brainwashed. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because everything is more open. And that's the thing, we can't see spiritually. We can't see what's going on spiritually. Yeah. So that's why these men like to focus on the external, because the further they move away from the spiritual and move us towards the external, they can then measure our faith. Oh, okay, you come into the prayer meeting, tick box. Do you see it's a system? Do you see that's what bureaucracy is? Like when a social worker has to do the visits, tick, they have to do this, tick, they have to do, they don't care. They don't really care about you or what's going on. They don't want to hear it. They just want to come and tick the box so they can get on to the next family. Their caseloads are overflowing. And it's the same in these environments. Yes, these people be claiming they are the only one talking to God. It's giving tarot reader. Absolutely. Absolutely. And even with the difference between the tarot reader and the fake pastor is with the tarot reader, like you'll go in there to pay for a service. So they're not colonizing your mind. Thank you, Emma B. They're not colonizing your mind. They're saying, I am here to deliver a service, which is the tarot card readings. I can deliver A, B, C, and D. This is my service. This is how much I charge. They pay and they tell them this is what it is. But in there, they're saying they're the voice of God. That's the difference. So they're actually, that's what I'm trying to show people. Like the things that we think are witchcraft isn't even witchcraft. And I'm not saying you're saying that, Tej. But do you see the depth? Do you see how deep it is? Do you see how deep it is? That's literal blasphemy. Like you're saying that you're the only one that can hear from God, but these times Christ unalived so that we might be set free. So we're left with the Holy Spirit. There's so many examples in the Bible that talk about not needing a prophet. Do you know what I mean? That's why you don't need to go to tarot readers or a priest but if you want to do that, that's your decision. Because sometimes you might be in a space, and again, you might be in a space where you don't know what to do. Life is overwhelming. You need to know what's going on behind the scenes. And you go to these dodgy like guys in these church cults that claim they can see and all of this. Their BS only works on weak-minded people, like people who are not intellectual. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because being intellectual is different from being educated. Yeah. So you're absolutely right, because they want to find out what's going to happen. They're afraid of what the future brings. Difference is the pastor's going to do it and he's going to lie. And it's not going to be from the Spirit of God. What spirit is that? That's what I'm saying. So when you're going to a tarot reader, you know what spirit that is. You know whether she's operating in the spirit of divination, this and that, but you're aware. So you can go in there and protect yourself. These guys, they're not saying that that's what they're doing up. So everybody's going in open and free, guard down. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like even with that tarot reader, because you've gone to pay for a service, you can have your guard up, your spiritual protection. With these guys, they come like wolves. They're wolves dressed in sheep's clothing. So we don't even see them coming. It's so crazy. How did you figure it out? Is it just based on your past? I'm going to answer that question because I think there's more people commenting. Literally, like, I'm here thinking God has favorites. Oh, that's sad. I don't believe in going to tarot readers because a lot of them lie, like PA does. Yeah. And you know what, babe? I'm not going to lie. Oh, I'm out of water. I'm not going to lie. I think it's just that act of, like, there being that mediator in it that would trigger you. I totally understand it. And to be honest, the best way is just to not to go to anyone and to just go within yourself, especially when you're vulnerable, because that's when people are going to take advantage of you and see it as a time to get money. Like, remember I told you I had that desperate friend, like, and her baby father got deported, unfortunately. And she spent thousands of pounds, legal fees, prayers, paying these prophets worldwide she was in absolute mania. And it got to the point where I couldn't be her friend anymore because morning, my love, morning, precious. I just couldn't be her friend anymore because it was affecting my mental health and it was bringing me down. And I actually said to her at a point, I think you need to seek mental health support. I can't be your friend until you sort it out. And even when we reconnected, I still think there's masking going on. I don't think there's been an actual change. I don't think there's been a real, I don't think she's healed. And it's sad because I've known her for years, but sometimes you just got to keep people in the hood, man. That's where they want to be. That's all they know. And these dangerous institutions are part of it. They're part of the betrayal. They're part of the reason why so many of our people have gone MAD in our community, man. I used to do it before Jesus saved me. I confirm these same spirits operating in the church. Ooh, yeah. Jesus. Damn. And that's the thing, and again, I think how you just need to see it is just dark practices. Do you know what I mean? Because these men that are doing these things, they're doing it with intention. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're doing it with intention. If somebody's selling a service and somebody decides to go and buy that service, their eyes are open. We can agree to disagree that tarot's wrong, tarot's right, you know what I mean? But the nook and crux of it is that it's about the intention and the spiritual hygiene, your eyes being open, at least you're given a choice. Do you want to have this reading? You can see what's there and you can make a judgment. These man, they're coming in wolves in sheep's clothing. So I wouldn't say it's the same spirit, I wouldn't say the tarot readers are the same spirit. I think what they're doing, the mogs and that inside there, I think it's a lot lower than that. I think it's a lot deeper, babe, because they're colonizing our minds. Do you know what I mean? I suppose there's different types of tarot readers though, because there could be some that are, starting up cults, but nah, because these mandem are actually taking over, imprisoning people's minds and controlling their whole lives. It's deep. So basically, it's not that the other church members are also in on the scam. Are they under a spirit? I want to bring this back to science and psychology a bit. The members in there are isolated. They're doing us versus them. It's black and white thinking. They take on the pseudo personality of the cult leader, and he is usually a malignant narcissist with psychopathic traits. A lot of them have antisocial behavior disorder as well, with traits of psychopathy, but they're taking on the cloak. They're taking on the embodiment of the cult leader. Thank you, Emma B. So they become that. So they are in on it, but they think they're doing good. So they're brainwashed robots. The only people that know what's up is the highest echelons. Yeah, the actual, the cult leader and his codees. Does that make sense? My mum was in which cult? Your mum was in a cult. They took so much money from her. Now I'm in church ones for free. Oh, do you mean a witch cult? Oh, that's sad, like a coven. I'm so sorry to hear that, babe. I had a survivor who was like it was that Hebrew Israelite thing. And the men use the women, they do schmegs magic. And they use the women, like when they're on their cycle and stuff. And they do blood magic, and it was so traumatic for the girl. So much shame when she was telling me as well. And I had to really make her feel comfortable and open up to her and tell her things that I'd never told anyone in my life, just to make her feel comfortable. And then somebody asked me, is that person still here, who asked me, how did I get out the pandemic? Cult leader was standing on the mountain one day, saying his empire will not be destroyed. He was slipping up. I believe he was going through some sort of like, it might have been psychosis, something. He was spiraling. He thought everything was going to come down, but also he thought he was going to get found out. I think for me, that was the biggest like alarm bells, because, hey Ruth, because he knew people was going to start to wake up to the fact that he was a cult leader. And also they know like none of it's real in their psyche. So when something like that happens, they feel totally out of control. Yeah, he was saying his empire, they feel totally out of control, and they start to like malfunction and make stupid mistakes. So I like literally, I don't know if it was internal monologue, whatever, said he's just like Jim Jones. Yeah, the People's Temple, that whole thing that happened where I think it was near to 1,000 people were unalived. Yeah, through the cult leader getting them to drink that Kool-Aid. Yeah. And what he laced the Kool-Aid with made them unalive. What makes Christians susceptible to manipulation in these churches where they can't think critically? Oh, that's a good question. So it's the indoctrination program. Like as soon as you get in there, you've got the overarching transcendental belief system. And I'm coming for your question, Ruth, on YouTube. Thank you for messaging, my lovely. And then there's the indoctrination program, that's going to be the thought process. Because ultimately what I just saw was the bite model in my mind. Yeah. And you've got behavior, information, thoughts, and emotions. It's all of those 4 areas that the cult leader is asserting control over. Yeah. So it's your behavior. They'll have rules, uniforms, all in the name of God or whatever, but it'll have different labels on it, but it's all about control. Does that make sense? And then you've got information. So they'll try and like through fear, like say to you, oh, TikTok's an EVIL app. Why are they so onto TikTok? Why is TikTok so bad? Because there's people speaking out. It's all about free speech and autonomy and critical thinking on TikTok. Remember, it's not like Instagram where you could just post a picture on a beach. Yeah. There's all different, it's like a online friggin' jumble cell, if you like. There's just so many creators and so much interest in different things on here. So they want to control the information that you're privy to. Yeah. Even like get cut off from world news, like things like that. So you don't know what the hell's going on in life. And then you've got your thoughts. Yeah. And that is when the cult leader colonizes your mind. And that is basically, it's done through the preaching is the indoctrination, my love. Every time they speak to you, they're indoctrinating you. They're planting a seed. Clock it. Start to notice it. They don't have normal conversations. It always goes back to like the cult leader, the prophet, whatever. And when you're a new member and you're not familiarized, you don't familiarize yourself with, the cult leader's books and what the rules are, and you won't even be able to clock it. And that's why it takes years and years and years and years and years, because you've got to study to show thyself approved. And then you've got to stand the test of time in the cult. Yeah. So does that make sense? And then you've got the emotions. So they control your emotions through you're a strong Christian. If you don't cry, you've got to have faith that, God will get you. Your mum's been given 3 months to live. Like God's going to heal her and save her. And you've got to have the faith. So now that's on you. See how they and one of the main ways that they control our emotions is when they have these services, very corporate, very uniformed. You can't speak when the pastor's speaking. Do you see what I mean? So there's a way that they're controlling our behavior, our information and thoughts. So it's a closed system. It's just an echo chamber of the cult leader's voice. If they're not reading the book or talking about his ideology, you're having a meeting where you're bringing up other people, and that is based off the cult leader's ideologies too. Yeah. What do you think about the young marriages they are pushing? Which cult is that, my love? Or is it all the church cults? People were saying they're constantly in meetings. They make everything revolve around church. Yeah. When you see it like that, they're always in the setting. They're always in the environment. They can't get out of the environment. That's when you need to be like, yeah, I'm going to go to YouTube comments. Then I'm coming to yours on TikTok. Thank you guys. The comment section is blowing up. This helps with, the algorithm. So thank you. So Ruth says on YouTube, cult pastors envy your pure, honest life and your internal salvation. They want us to share their false doctrines, complex, using fear and threats of God's punishment the moment we refuse. Isn't that beautifully written? Oh, Ruth, I felt that. I felt that in every part of my body. Oh, bless you, darling. That wasn't that worded really eloquently and beautifully for us as survivors. Oh, that's nice. Because all we've got is our words to each other. That's what's strengthening us now. All we've got is that, guys. We've got to stick together. All we've got is each other, please. You've got to know. Like, if I'm on here less, guys, it's for a reason, a very good reason. We've got to hold on and stick together, okay? We've got to keep holding on. Thank you, Multi. So when you see someone constantly in the church cult setting, they're having meetings, they're not seeing family, you arrange things and they're just never there. They never show up. Yeah. That is a sign. That is a huge red flag, because one main thing that these cults will do is isolation. If you have a tradition or a culture where you're coming and sitting down and you're eating Sunday dinner, every Sunday you have that Sunday dinner at 2 p.m. Oh, I can't come to that now, mummy, because of the church. Oh, just save it for me. But that's the tradition of the house. That's how they all stay together. Do you understand where I'm coming from? They just take everything. Thank you, Tej, for your gifts. I had psychosis, and they were saying that I thought I was a PDF, and a member told me I need deliverance. I'm not gonna lie. What I'm finding with RPF, one second, guys. 1 second. Okay. That's absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Did they do any deliverance? Because I know the deliverance can get really, really abuse, really, really AB. Like, I've had survivors that are like LGBTQ plus, and they BEAT them to a pulp. Drag them down the stairs. One time a survivor came dressed as a girl. Because that's what she wanted, and she's fully transitioned now. Kicked the girl down the stairs. They were all putting hands on her. Like how a mob comes and they'll be like, oh, sinner, da-da-da. Because this was back in the 2000s. Yeah, they tell you if you're still sick, it's because you didn't sow or have faith in the pastor. BITE, good acronym to remember what you just said. Yeah, and it's a term used by a cult psychologist called Stephen Hassan. He's got a whole toolkit on there, guys. If you put in BITE model, it will take you straight to the website. There's a lot more information on that website, like real stuff that we can use as survivors. Meetings are about nothing. Oh, don't take me out. Don't take me out. Oh, don't take me. We'll be tired, yeah. Our feet is bunning. We've been on our feet all day, smiling. Don't forget the cheeks and your face from smiling and how dehydrated you are. You don't even hydrate yourself. You're just on the move. You don't realize these things. There's no time to stop here. Then you get in the meeting and this guy is speaking absolute human fecal matter. And Dannon, that's how you know. It's just to fill our time, babe. Because they want you to be so tired that you won't go and spread your legs. You understand? Because in their mind, all the women are sinners and Jezebels. Okay. And that's on period, point blank. What's worse is the encouragement. They encourage you to bring your family. Yeah, that's a big one. Ooh, Fireheart said I was pushed on the floor, not forcefully, but I was saying I wasn't gonna drop, and I did. Oh, when they force you to drop him, I still think that's ABUSE though. That's still ABUSE, babe. Even if you didn't fall hard, that's still ABUSE and coercive control. Do you know what I mean? That's disgusting. Do you know all the people that I've spoken to that told me that they were faking manifestations? I've got people where if you go to their church cult website, they're making full-blown testimonies on big TV. And then people are still suffering with that same condition, waiting for that PIP to drop. You get me? So they contrive their new church cult that they've hopped to. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. They wanted to lay hands on me because of my illness and forced me to drop. Oh my God. There's a scripture that I remember, yeah? Trigger warning, I'm going to say a scripture. And it says, let no man lay hands on you suddenly. I've not quoted it right. But our pastor, like that scripture is true, yeah? But how the cult leader twisted it was like, he's our prophet. Like no one else should be laying hands on us. We shouldn't let other people. So do you see they're controlling our behavior and our thoughts? Through telling us. It's reverse psychology as well, because he's also distorting the reality and feeding us a false narrative so that we then there's a word for it. It's called you know the term when it's like shared psychosis. They share in the psychosis with the cult leader because they believe he's a mighty man of God, a prophet, but who's not? He's a swindler. We can all see it. As they're there, oh, praise you, prophet. We all know what it is. Serious issues. 1 Timothy 5:22. Thank you, babe. Hey, girl. Do you still believe in Jesus? I don't really think it's relevant for this topic of conversation. However, I'm in a good mood. Yes, I do still believe in Jesus Christ. Not in a religious way. Not in a religious way, because I still found like the beauty of Christ, but in my own way, my own personal way. And Christ lives in, through me, working on me daily. The reason I don't like to talk like too much religion, my beliefs and stuff like that, is because I'm just supposed to be a biased, neutral entity, a blank slate. I don't have any bias because somebody believes in Jesus and someone's an atheist. Everybody is equal. And that's why, although it's not religion, when we start to get into the discourse of religion, like, why is it important? Why is it important whether I believe in Jesus Christ or not? If you need heart surgery tomorrow and you're going to unalive, and that surgeon is a Muslim or an atheist, you're not going to say, oh no, I don't want the heart surgery, I'm going to wait for a Christian doctor to come. So that mindset is very DUMB. And again, you might be out of the setting, but if you're still thinking, oh yeah, it's safer. It's okay to feel like it's safer to be with Leah because she still accepts Jesus Christ. But I don't know how my life's going to go. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know what the future will hold. But I have been deconstructing quite a bit, and I still love Jesus. But that I'm not saying that that path is for everybody, because it's deep, man. Like when you get into like, you know, like your spiritual like ancestry, and it goes deep. It goes deep. It goes deep. So some people, I just don't believe that everybody's on all the same path. But again, then you might say that that contradicts the word, because it says, I am the way, I am the truth and the life. No one can enter heaven except through me. But the thing is, when I was studying language and deconstructing language and how language has evolved over time, because when I was reading the Bible, I got like this, I don't want to call it a vision, but I just saw this thing. If I say third eye, people will get scared. So I saw this like little vision, whatever. And it was like people doing that game, you know, the Chinese whispers, when they whisper in the air and hand out the paper or whatever, and it changes as time goes on. And then that's when I got like the download. Yeah, I need to look into language and how language has metamorphosized over time. And when people change the translations, the meanings of things change, and it gets very watered down. And also the book has been edited so many times. And that's why they use the King James version, which I think is like one of the most corrupt when you look into the origins of how that was created. Also, I don't believe that that book is infallible. Yeah, because like factually, because if you're going to say, I'm not brainwashed anymore, I'm seeking for the truth, because that's what Christ taught you to do. Seek for the truth. What you were hearing, that wasn't the truth. So now you need to deconstruct. These questions may be uncomfortable, but if you've gone and looked at all the facts around the Bible and you've deconstructed it, and at the end you're still saying that is infallible, that's up to you. You've sought, you've found, that's what you want to. But the thing is, when you're in that situation, you're like, no, I'm not. I know it is not. It is infallible. I know that it's God, words inspired through man, and it's we can't just put like everything into that book where there's like mistakes and stuff. Where, do you know what I mean? Like you've got to find your internal locus to break the code, to break the secrets in the book, so that can become a map for you. That's what I've done, and I don't do it up every day. I meditate. I meditate a lot. And that is really my main way of connecting with God. And I need a lot of time alone. Like I spend a lot of time with my kids. They're around me all the time and I love it. But then there's a time when I need my space. So I say, girls, you know, just give mommy like half an hour, give mommy an hour. And they understand that. Do you know what I mean? So I can just have that time to hear from self. I just think about tongues shouldn't be screamed by everyone in a public setting. Whatever, there's so many scriptures, babe. There's so many scriptures to support what you're saying, yeah. You know, there has to be an interpreter, because then they just sound like clanging cymbals. That's the scripture. Yeah. And again, I want to let people know that this is a diversion tactic, the tongues. When a pastor's late or he's doing something that he's not supposed to do, or just get the people to pray in tongues. Do you know how many times my pastor's come and he's been like, Leah, just get the people to start praying. And the pastor will be in the back eating, chewing cashew nuts. Are you all right? You're all there praying. You've come early. You've come on time, you know. But we're all in the back office, yamming donuts, chatting away. Pastor's doing a meeting. And the thing is, the pastor will have his shirt all ironed in his little office and his deodorant, and he'll get to freshen up while everybody in there's reeking. I look all right. Right, I'm going to go to YouTube quickly as well. Cult leaders are liars because they are sharing lies, false doctrine, or cult church. Leave the church because it is lies. Yes, all lies. Thanks for that, Ruth. It's so true. Then she says, wise, keep it simple and truth and honest, free and happy. If you're confused or don't understand, say no, because you don't know if it's right. Saying no if you're confused is safe, honest and free. Protection and boundary. Bloody heck, the survivors are deconstructing. Absolutely. Absolutely. Saying no is a boundary, and it protects you. So when they're doing shabba yabba baba shabba baba, they, as Ruth is saying, they should stop doing that, because what they need to learn to do is say no. because I'm getting exploited and taken advantage of. King James literally wrote a book about demonology, but he didn't write the Bible himself. And also, you know, he was LGBTQ plus. Yeah. And there are scholars, because there's this guy I follow, he's LGBTQ plus, but he's like some mad professor. Like, he's gone through the BIBL and everything and the King James thing and broken it all down. And apparently those references about the LGBTQ community were added with that version. And so it is given projection as well. But what I would say is I haven't dug into the main book as I should have. And I know it's a sensitive topic, guys, because I've got to remember there are other people who are here. So I don't mean to offend anyone, guys. This is just the process of, you know, deconstructing, and part of deconstructing this faith is talking about the book, because that is the main issue that we have. Like, they're standing there bold, wrong and strong and saying this is an infallible book. You cannot question it. And I need survivors to understand that once you're believing in the infallibility, you're opening yourself up to a lot of exploitation. Yeah, because what you're essentially saying is once they speak that word over your life, according to the Bible, you're going to believe it because it's infallible. So as Ruth is saying, and I'm not saying you would do that, but I'm just getting your thought process, like, get it ticking. But what Ruth is saying is that you can say no. Yeah. Because that's the truth. That's no longer between them and God, as God left the chat when you wanted to blaspheme. Ooh, it's true. And also, when you look at, like, is it where the spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty, there is freedom. If you go into these places and there's not an energy of freedom, but then I would ask you, what does freedom feel like? Because if you haven't experienced freedom and you're not in that space, that vibration, and that's a high vibration to be on, to be free, and then you walk into one of these settings, that's visible vulnerability all over you. They're going to be on you like a hot rash. African churches feel like they need to take on the world, so do what Jesus did. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely, Jill. And I find it so funny, like, when they're wearing their little suits and that, like, I don't get it. Like, just come as you are. That's what Christ said. Like, they're all trying to dress like the pastor. Like, they're just, you're unemployed, babe, and you're coming here to be preaching with the seat. It doesn't make it make sense. You've got a guy coming and preaching to hundreds of people whilst he's living in a, like, what, tiny 1-bedroom council flat. His kids are in the same room. How are they getting privacy to be intimate, to form a relationship? It's overcrowded. You got the kids in the yard in the 1-bedroom. Jesus encouraged questions, even the answered slanderous things at times. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because Christ had the empathy. He could see beyond the slanderer, and what Christ was seeing was trauma in people. Like, their visible vulnerabilities. Look how long it's taken us to catch up to what Christ was saying back then. We're in 2026. The power of knowledge. And I call it gnosis knowledge. Sorry, I feel like BLK people in Lavery was treated worse than Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah. And you know why? Because that was an event. It wasn't even an event. It was a period. It was a time. And it was a long time. And my battery is so low. It was a long period that we were subjected to absolutely horrific things. And I've started looking into, like, Lavery and our roots, because I've been really scared doing it. And I've been putting it off, like, my whole life, but now I'm starting to look at it. And it's absolutely devastating. And I know where you're coming from. If you're coming from, like, the ancestor route, and you're saying, you know, how are they lifting up someone, above my ancestors that have been through this and fought for the lineage and fought for my freedom here. And I get it. I understand that. And I'm not here to challenge at all. Do you know what I mean? Because that's part of what the deconstruction process is about. Thank you, halal the mum. And that's what this space is about. Like, everyone's opinion is wanted, and I think that's beautiful, that you're deconstructing and you're finding this sistren and you're going down this path. I think it's absolutely beautiful, because, and even your confidence to say it out on the chat, like all of this. And actually, if I was you, sistren, like when you're doing your reflections at the end of the day, your meditation, whatever it is that you're doing, just add that into it. Like, I did that. I said that. I deconstructed that and I shared it on the platform, and I shared that in a bold way, because I think that's a really good, to level of awareness. They be sleeping top and toe. Oh God, Tasia, don't take me out. I had a survivor that told me one time that this married couple had, like, the 3 bunk beds, then another bunk bed. There was bare kids like living in that one room. It was like a dorm, like people sleeping on the sofa, because they're just like, so much stuff happens when you're in there. You could have been in uni, then you've messed up your accommodation because they keep telling you not to have the services. All the people are coming in, you don't listen, you get kicked out of the accommodation. Now they've lost their whole term or whatever, do you know what I mean, of rent. So they're just like living like that in someone's yard. Crazy. In RPF, I'm pretty sure they have to get the blessing from the pastors to marry. Haha. It's just like my cult. Anyone who discourages questions is an outright cult leader, and that's not being kind. That's me being kind. Absolutely. And that's why I've noticed with my cult leader, like, he's trying to say things, and he's speaking to the audience. Am I speaking to the wrong crowd? Because he's frustrating himself. Even as he's saying it, it's causing him a narcissistic injury, because he's trapped between a rock and a hard place. He can't move because he has to talk to the people, because he has to damage control, and he has to further enforce what's going on on the ground when he does up his service. So they most likely got something else going on. Do you know what I mean? Where they got a private service where you got to get a code or a link to log in, and they're just going ham. Absolutely. The marriage thing, yes. If not all the marriages, like with the spiritual daughter, they'll all be married to a spiritual son of the house. Yeah. And the reason why they do up these arranged marriages is because it's like a status symbol. Think of Handmaid's Tale. Who your pastor decides to give you to, it's like a measurement of your worth. Okay. And they get really precious about, like, the daughters of the house. Like, they really do own you when you're in there. Like, they own your life. And like, it's just that thing about disobeying and obedience. It comes on a lot stronger. Oh, another thing I want to tell you is they're not marriages, they're arrangements. The husband and the father, sometimes even no, but the mother's usually the enabler, because they're usually at absolute MESS. And some of these women are wicked. That's why they stay with the man, to punish them. Don't you see? Like, it's very deep. I've disassociated. Sorry, guys. You know how it gets. And this is why from the jump, I was saying, like, I'm part of this collective, y'all. Like, I'm going through it like you're going through it. Like, I'm ill. I'm so sick right now. Do you know what I mean? Like, just soldiering on, getting through it. And I could have decided to just wallow away and self-pity and regret and just unalive in a corner somewhere. But I didn't, because I can't. My gut, especially the younger one, oh my God, she'll come and dig me out like, Mommy, why are you doing? Why did you put yourself in the pit? No, get you out now. Get out, Mummy. Like, that one is me. The youngest is me. Like, oh my God, she's me on 100. The younger one is just diva, superstar, born to be that. Mine would humiliate you in front of the congregation for questioning. Oh my God. So do you get the arranged marriage? They also call it shepherdoral linking in my cult, where the reverends, the pastors, they will match you. And you have to like the person. You have to like the person. Yeah, my youngest is my twin. You have to. Because if you say no, that's going to be disobedient and disloyal. And then they'll leave you. They'll leave you on the shelf. I've seen it with so many women. And those women that say no to marriages, they usually have to find someone from outside and bring them in if they can't get a guy. Yeah, I think that's what I would say to marriages. And another thing as well, they want marriages so that it leaves, like, you know, like a generational legacy. There's a generational legacy and sustainability. Yeah, because we need to, they need to be thinking about how the sustainability of the business, because remember, it's a business. God is not going to tell another person who you need to marry. It's so DUMB. Yeah. Also, I've had situations where it was so bad in the church cult that young people started to have dreams of people being their husband and wife, and it was causing a right kerfuffle. Because one gal, oh my God, she was in love with this guy, and they eventually got married, you know, and had kids. Childhood sweethearts from like 13, 14. Oh my God. Ye lot. The girl was bawling, she was crying, and she was like, God has not spoken to me. And she was like, I guess I'm going to have to marry him now. It was horrible. It was horrible. Yeah. It is giving that, innit? Like the spell work. Yeah, definitely. They do a lot of that, like a lot of spell work, a lot of incantations. Especially when you see like the mug or whatever is angry and, you know, the atmosphere changes and they start to shout and curse, and it's so low vibrational. You know, it takes a lot of energy to even listen to a person like that and then have to process the human fecal matter. It takes a lot of energy out of you. And I think on that note, guys, I'm gonna, oh God, I've been on here for a hot minute, chair. Let me go, but this live's been good. Depending on my health, guys, if I leave from here because I've got to do a bit of work and I'm feeling better, I'll come back on, because it's quite nice, isn't it? Have people been enjoying their bank holiday? I've had a wonderful bank holiday. It's been so beautiful. I might actually go into the garden later as well, if it's a nice day, and do a live out there, because that would be nice. Because now I'm not like, I've still got to do up my garden, but I'm so proud of what my girls have done. Do you know what I mean? Like, they cleared out that whole space and they bought, like, there's some old like table and chairs. They all wiped it and put it on there, and we've been having like our lunch out there and having our breakfast. It's been nice. It's been nice. It's been feeling like holiday vibes. They love it. I was on one of your videos that actually made me realize PA curses people. Oh God. Yeah, they do. And the thing is, curses are not real in my reality. Yeah, because if the curses were real, this recent attack that just came, it would have been able to be implemented, but it's not. And then that just comes down to like the spiritual protection on your life, I've got to be honest. But it doesn't make a person more special when they're more protected than another, because that just means that they spend time with God. That's all it is. That protection and that like confidence. Yeah. Like I am, what is it? I am boasting. I am boasting in the Lord. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, and there's that missing. There's a lot of like boasting of the male pastor or the reverend or this or that. We're not really lifting up Christ in these settings. Another argument that I have also is the way most of these institutions are more Luciferian. Yeah. And there's more of a focus when it is that way inclined, there's more of a focus of Paulism. Yeah, which is the teachings of the Apostle Paul. there's more of a focus on that. So that's going to be like from the Acts onwards. Yeah, so there'll be like a real focus, because there's like them books where Paul was giving the instruction to the churches, and I think that specific churches, we've got to bring in we've got to contextualize it in that particular place, in that particular time, in that particular moment, which was just a moment captured in time. Yeah. Don't you see what's going on here, guys? Do you see what's going on? Like, they've tried to use so much reverse psychology and rewire our brain, so much so that when we try to think about it and unpack it, my brain just can't take it. And so my brain talks about it for a bit and then it shuts down. And that's when I realized, like, before I had matured and like ascended to this level, yeah, I would be cussing the trolls and this and that. But I just physically haven't got the energy to give them. And the thing is, we're all one and we're in tune with nature. Clock it. So even when you look at like the Schumann resonance, yeah, and the spikes and waves and what's going on, it can help you to understand and make sense of why you're feeling the way you're feeling and why your environment feels that way, yeah? Because there should be a feel, like sometimes I'm just sitting here and I'm like, I've got a feeling something's not right. Something's not right. And then I just have my own ways, my own spiritual practices and tools that I use to find out what's hidden in the shadows. But again, the shadows and the darkness is always portrayed as very EVIR. But if people like me don't go into the shadows, I can't expose the pastors that are eaten out of the great bowl. I can't expose the kids that have been essayed by family members in these settings. I can't expose all of like the unaliveness. I can't expose all of this stuff. I've got to go into the dark. And when you're trying to navigate the darkness, you need tools to help you see your way. And that's on period, point blank. And if I didn't have my faith and my personal spiritual practices, I would not still be sitting here talking to you today. It's so much better that you don't give the trolls energy. Yeah, absolutely. I haven't got it, babe. And so what that's telling me is, as a collective, we all feel like that. The whole world feels like that. Everybody's bloody tired. We're absolutely rinsed out. Like we're tapping out. Like it's absolutely too much. Like everything is just getting too much. No one's got any more to give. And I think this is what is happening in these churches, honestly. I think people are not coming because it's hot. I think people are not engaging as much. And it's not even what I've said. Okay, yeah, it may have influenced how they think and whatever. But it's also just common sense, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? It's this hot and you want people to be cooped up. So people are like not coming. And also they've got issues that unfortunately these establishments just cannot solve. That people have real issues that they can't like spiritual bypass and brush under the rug with, oh, let me pray for you. No. I challenge you to stop one of these guys going to touch a word and say, I will pray for you. No, Pastor, I prefer practical solutions, please. Oh, just keep coming. Just come to the church. Just keep coming. What? Yeah, and grounding yourself in nature is so bloody important, guys. If you feel like you're tipping off, like you're at tipping point, your window, bro. Like if you don't have a garden, like before I was sticking my head out of my window and you really got to hold it in for 4, man, and let it out, because we don't do those usual breaths. And then afterwards you can do your breath. You can put on some nice relaxing like a frequency like this. It's all needed because they've messed up all the neurosystem, and I'm trying to trick my body into speeding up the recovery. But it's sad, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to leave on like a sad point, but I'm not gonna lie. I have been thinking a bit like about my disability and how it is disabling. It really is disabling, and I just think I'm really trying to process like what they did to me. I'm trying so hard, but guys, I just can't process it. And I try, and it doesn't matter how well life's going, what I got going on, what money I got in the bank. Oh, okay, I should listen to 34 hertz because this is 963 hertz. So this is just like thankfulness and manifestation and stuff. That's why I wanted to bring in like a really positive like vibration for the morning, because I really want to start like this week, like my thoughts just to be positive. And guys, I'm not going to lie, like you do get like tests, because remember the battle is psychological. So once you've got yourself into this state of mind and you said, okay, I'm going to be operating at this frequency, doing up this, trust me, the parasites will come in from nowhere, trying to do up human fecal matter. So you've got to be prepared for that as well. Yeah. But I think I'm going to go now. If anybody has any more questions, please put it in before I go. Cult, pastor, lies and curse, false, leave and enjoy your life. Ooh. Ruth saying leave and enjoy your life. Yeah, that's healing frequency. I'll put that on after. What did he say? Sorry, it's 528. Okay. I'll listen afterwards. I mean, we've been through so much. We've been to HELL and back. And I've always got like, you know, like what I want to talk about in the notes and whatever. But I love it when survivors just come on and you guys just take over the live. And I'm not going to lie, I've been so unwell. Like I've needed, check my DM. Okay. I'm not going to lie, I've needed, I need to talk to you actually, Emma. Real-time insights and guidance built around your goals. See where we can take you. But as the time goes on, as we are processing this, because as I said, guys, we do have to step in the dark to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Unfortunately, that's the way it works. And when it comes to creation, whether it's you're going through a transformation, your environment, your situation, there's always a void. Yeah, like even when you're decorating and whatever, and everything just gets stripped off or stripped down, and you just see the house as its bare minimum. Of course, you're going to panic at first, but there's a process. And as they keep coming and doing work on it, it will obviously get fixed. Yeah, so I think that we definitely need to have that approach moving forward, because we can't allow them to have any like rent-free space in our minds, guys. We can't allow it, because that's what really drains us. That's why music before the 90s made you feel good. Yeah, it's so funny that you should say that, because we're watching the series Mixed-ish, you know, the sequel from, was it Blackish? We're watching it and it's really good, it's really funny, and they said something like that. All right, I'm gonna go. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being on and engaging. I absolutely appreciate you. Thank you, Ruth, for your comments on YouTube as well, girl. Love you. I might be back, but I might not, guys. You can see that I'm just like this today, like proper, just weak, no energy. All right, I love you. I'm gonna just like do my stuff. I think I'm gonna have like a nice rose petal salt bath and just lay and release, and yeah, I'll do that and I should be fine. Oh, thanks, babe. I love you guys so much. I'll see you soon. I'll probably come on later just for a little bit to see how everybody is, because it's a lot. Have a great day. Have a great day, my RPF Alliance. I'll be back. Message me so I can do some content. Love you. Love you, TikTok. Love you so much. And I love you, YouTube. I'm just seeing if I got any tutorials. I didn't. Yay. I didn't. Great. Well, thank you so much for being here, YouTube. You know, it's always you and me at the end. I just want to say that I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. You know, it is a lot coming on YouTube, and I do come on, even if it's just for that like one person. Do you know what I mean? That comes on and listens, and I appreciate you so much. If you've watched to the end, it's quite a watch. So make sure you subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment. Thank you so much, Ruth. Love you, girl. Love you guys. Bye. I'll see you soon. Bye.